Close Ole Miss quarterback Shea Patterson is planning to transfer to Michigan. Time: Shea Patterson threw for 139 yards, 23 touchdowns and 12 interceptions in 10 career games at Ole Miss. Photo: AP. Jim Harbaugh didn't have to look far this past fall to see what he'd be up against next season. Just think back to late November in Ann Arbor. There, in the third quarter at Michigan Stadium, Ohio State's starting quarterback, J.T. Barrett, went down with a knee injury. And in came the future. His name is Dwayne Haskins. The Buckeyes' backup quarterback didn't torch that afternoon. But he made enough plays to win. More critically, the 6'4" sophomore gave Harbaugh a glimpse of what the Wolverines will have to deal with the next couple of seasons from Columbus. It's sobering. Or it should be. And certainly a reason why Harbaugh went after former Ole Miss quarterback Shea Patterson, who announced Monday he will transfer to because at some point Harbaugh has to close the quarterback gap that exists between his Wolverines and his rivals, not to mention the teams that make up the sports elite. Really, Harbaugh had no choice but to pursue Patterson. Who is Shea Patterson? Get to know Michigan's newest QB. This isn't to say that redshirt freshman, Brandon Peters, or true freshman, Dylan McCaffrey, won't be good enough for to compete for a national title at some point. Maybe they will be. Maybe Patterson's presence, especially if he's declared eligible for next fall, will help push Peters to places he wasn't aware he could get. Jim Harbaugh watches his players go through drills before action against Ohio State on November 25 at Michigan Stadium. Photo: Kierthman F. Dozier, Detroit Free Press. Or maybe Patterson's just better. Harbaugh obviously thinks he has a chance to be, or he wouldn't have chased him and convinced him to come to Ann Arbor. At the very least, this gives Harbaugh 3 tantalizing possibilities in the quarterback room. It also gives him no more excuses. Not now. Not after winning another offseason. Though is that really surprising? It's what Harbaugh has done since he took over as Michigan's football coach in late 2014. What he hasn't done is win the in-season. To Harbaugh's credit, he admitted as much last week when he said his program wasn't good enough. Not good enough to win all our games. He said, "We need to be better." Notice he didn't say had to be good enough to contend in the Big Ten East Division, or beat Notre Dame on the road, or finally beat Ohio State. He said, very pointedly, good enough to win all our games. That means good enough to win a national championship. And that means more talent. Certainly at quarterback, where has been outclassed in most of its toughest losses. Yes, injuries have a lot to do with that. But also at receiver and safety, the Wolverines' weakest spot on defense this fall. Which means it's not a coincidence that Harbaugh's pursuing Patterson's former Ole Miss teammates, safety Deontay Anderson and receiver Van Jefferson. His Wolverines need help there, too. Still, though, it's about the quarterback, and Harbaugh's latest recruit. Yes, Patterson is a recruit. He took a visit to Ann Arbor last weekend. These days, it helps to have more than one QB. Again, the Buckeyes provide a nice blueprint. Not just with what happened last month when Haskins subbed in for the injured Barrett, but also a few years ago when Cardale Jones replaced Barrett and led Ohio State to a national title. Urban Meyer had options, and often has them. Harbaugh does not, and wants them. Bringing in Patterson should change that. It should also level the field at its most critical spot. Because, remember, as young as the Wolverines were this season, they were similarly talented to every team that beat them. Except at quarterback. That was true against the Buckeyes. That was true against the Nittany Lions and Badgers. Even Wisconsin's Alex Hornibrook made the throws Miz QBs could not. And that was true against Michigan State, when sophomore quarterback Brian Lewerke was the difference as MSU beat the Wolverines in October. So, here we are again, breathlessly following the coach who gives us more off-season headlines than anyone else in the sport, wondering if he got his man. The hype already is beginning, especially from the South, where some in the SEC commentariat figure Patterson could be the piece that pushes Harbaugh to the playoff, or beyond. That's the expectation. Anyway, that's what landing Patterson has done. Contact Sean Windsor, 313-222-6487 or swindsor@freepress.com. Follow him on Twitter at Sean Windsor. Download our Wolverines Extra app for free on Apple and Android devices.